What is happening, guys? It is Daniel1989. This is episode 64 of the Hereford United career going into next season. So, in the start of this episode, we are going to do a roundup of who finished where and who took home the titles, and then we're going to do a roundup of the club, hand out the awards, and then we will go into next season and move on from there. So, starting with the Premier League, we might as well start with ourselves. I think we had a brilliant first season at Premier League level. Played 38 games, won 14 of them, drawn 10 of them, lost 14, and we were bang on with goal difference. Conceded 43 and also scored 43, finished on 52 points. I am really happy with how our first season went, and all we need to do is improve and get better. So, Liverpool, as we know, clinched the title and won it at our ground on the last game of the season, nonetheless. So, they finish on 93 points and take home the Premier League title, closely followed by Manchester City on 85 points, closely followed again by Chelsea, and then in 4th place was Manchester United, and then in 5th place was Tottenham. Relegated from the Premier League, Burnley, Fulham and Leeds. Brighton were very close. They were in that relegation battle for quite some time throughout the season, but it ends up being Leeds, Fulham and Burnley to go down. Moving on to the FA Cup, guys. Let's have a look who clinched the FA Cup. It was actually clinched by Norwich, 1-0 against Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth Argyle did really well to get to the final of the FA Cup. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't win it, and Norwich take it home. Carabao Cup, as we know, the only piece of silverware we will get, or had got, this season. We beat Watford 3-0. The UEFA Super Cup was won by Juventus 3-0 against Villarreal. The Champions League. Champions League was won by Atletico Madrid against Man City 1-0. Europa League was won by Bayern Munich against Nice 1-0, so not a lot of goals in these finals. The Conference League, or the UEFA Conference League, was won by Benfica 3-2. Congratulations to them. And that's all the major trophies, guys. We will show you now the Championship, obviously League 1 and League 2. I'll just move over to other leagues and we will show you the Championship. So, Championship coming up into the Premier League is Norwich and Bournemouth. Bournemouth, obviously, as we know, last season challenged us for the playoff final. This time they do it on points. So, Norwich and Bournemouth coming up. The playoffs will be either one of Sheffield United, QPR, Nottingham Forest or Watford. And relegated down to League 1 will be Portsmouth, Peterborough and Bolton. Moving on to League 1, going up into the Championship will be Derby County going back up after getting relegated last season, and Cardiff City, and then one of Huddersfield, Ipswich, Burton Albion or Sheffield Wednesday. Almost forgot to show you got relegated. Then relegated down is Mansfield, Cheltenham Town, Carlisle United and Doncaster. League 2 was won by Forest Green Rovers. Walsall and Wigan will go up, and then it will be between Accrington Stanley, Leyton Orient, Oldham and Colchester for the playoffs, and then what would have been relegated down to the Conference League, but there isn't one, so it would have been Sutton, Hartlepool and Bristol Rovers. So guys, that is all the roundup of who won what and who did everything. So let's move on to the awards. Now, I'm sure you can guess goalkeeper of the season once again has to be Josh Griffiths. Obviously McNeil did partake a little bit, but he just wasn't good when I played him, to be honest. I probably will look to move him on the start of next season. So Josh Griffiths obviously takes the goalkeeper of the season. He was brilliant. He pulled out some fantastic saves and he had some very memorable moments at the start or throughout the season, to be honest, because he was brilliant in the last episode. Anyway, Josh Griffiths will take the goalkeeper of the season. Player of the season. Player of the season was really hard to do this year because so many individual players stood out, but I wanted to go more with somebody who I thought was underrated and somebody who deserved it, and you will obviously see why by their stats. So Matt O'Reilly, guys, for me this season has made the difference, and if you look at his stats you will know why. So throughout all of this season he has had 5 goals from midfield, he's had 7 assists, he's had 7 clean sheets, and he just seems to have been an all-rounder, because if you remember last season, we were playing him in the cam position, and when we were playing him at the cam position, he was really involved in going forward and scoring a couple of goals. We seem to have moved him to centre defensive midfield, and he seems to have flourished even more. Defensively, he was brilliant. Going forward, he was brilliant. He provided some great assists. He scored some brilliant goals. And Matt O'Reilly will take the player of the season. Now, goal of the season. Goal of the season, I'm sure you can guess, because most of our goals came from Aubameyang anyway. Aubameyang gets the goal of the season, so it didn't happen too long ago, to be fair. It was a terrific strike from outside the box, but it wasn't just the goal itself, it was the meaning of the goal as well, because in that game we needed a goal at that point and Aubameyang supplied it. So if you haven't seen it or you don't remember it, I'll show that for you now. On the ball here, give it to Conor Gallagher, go back around the corner to Aubameyang. Can he come up with another good shot? An absolute screamer in the top corner by Aubameyang. There we are then, guys. That was the goal of the season by Aubameyang. Brilliant strike, fully deserved. Now, moving on, just before we move on to next season, guys, I want to show you a youth player that I've been developing over the second half of the season. Now, Jonathan Bray can play cam, centre forward or striker. He has a potential between 88 and 94. I am going to call him up into the first squad and look to loan him out, and if obviously he gets better, he could be somebody for the future. So I'm going to promote him to the senior team, and then I am going to move on, guys, into next season. We've covered all the standings of where everybody finished, who won all the silverware. We've handed out the awards. The only thing to do is progress into next season. So I will start simulating, and we will wait for confirmation for the end of the season. As you can see here, we've got Ruben Banks coming back from loan, and I think that was the young Bray telling me that he's impressed to be into the squad. Thank you, Bray. Hopefully you will go out on loan, get better, and come in the squad and be somebody who can help us win the Premier League. So, guys, ending the season and moving on into next season. As you can see, I'm sure that the board were very happy with us. We didn't do a certain amount, but we brought some silverware home, and I think we had a terrific season. So, advancing on into next season, I'll simulate forward. I'll see you at the start of pre-season. At the start of pre-season, guys, I say this every time we get here at this point. Make sure if you don't do this, you do. Always click on the one with the most amount of money and just simulate pre-season. It gives your players sharpness, it gets them ready for the start of the season. Even if you lose in knockout stages and get sent out of pre-season, you still get a percentage of the money. So do make sure you accept the one with the most money. Into next season, guys. As we know, we edit the club every year. I bring you a fresh kit every year. I bring you something new every year. So with such a large investment this year, I think a little tiny upgrade to Edgar Street Stadium is in order. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go in and edit the club, and once I have give us a little bit of an upgrade, not too much of an upgrade, a tiny bit, and a new sponsor maybe, I will come back to you. Here are the improvements that I have made to this season, guys. So, Edgar Street Stadium, instead of having the corners missing now, we are obviously a full stadium now. We've had our corners filled in. We've added about an extra 20,000 seats to the stadium. It looks beautiful. Same colour theme, everything's the same. We've changed the grass this season, but Edgar Street Stadium, I can't wait for the first home game of the season. Obviously the crest stays the same as it has throughout, and this season I wanted to go different with our sponsor and our kit. So we are now sponsored by New Balance. I have gone with obviously the white home kit. I like the spray across the front of it, like paint kind of dashed across the front of it. Looks really, really nice. The shorts are white and the socks are white. We have gone with our traditional, obviously, stripes away. I know it's obviously not proper stripes, but I do like the black and red with the white finish. So that is our kits and our stadium improved, guys. We are ready to go into next season and make the difference this season. We have a lot to do in this transfer window. We have players coming in on pre-contracts. Don't forget about the Malang Sarr deal that went through. We need to improve on the field massively. So we're in pre-season, we know about that. Transfer window, brilliant, yep. And the review from last season, we know we are certainly still in a job. So while I am with you, I will skip this training session. Obviously the first training session of the year gets some momentum back into the lads, I'll do it when it allows me to, because there we go, pre-contracts arriving. It's just taking a second to load in. There we go, we're into the second day. That's what I was going to do anyway, and bring us into the second day so everything goes through. So Malang Sarr is into the club on a pre-contract from Chelsea last season. He is going to improve us massively in defence straight away. So Malang Sarr, I am going to bring him. He is actually down as a centre back, but he can play as a left back. So what I am tempted to do is, let's get rid of McNeil for now. I am tempted to bring him into the left back position for now, and then see where we go in defence, because Hurst is still improving, and obviously Mings is still improving. We haven't decided quite what we want to do yet, but he is in the starting lineup, and I may change him to a left back before the start of the season. We haven't quite decided what we want to do yet regarding transfers. So, talking of transfers, there is a few things I have on my mind to do straight away. One of those things being, obviously, Fulham, Burnley and Leeds all got relegated. As you can see here, Harry Wilson at Fulham, we should be able to get him on a cheap deal, less than £20 million. I will try and get him for less than that if I can, and bring Harry Wilson in. I also want to try and bring in Maitland-Niles. He should be a fairly cheap deal as well, and we need to weigh up our options and have a look. But just before then, I want to have a look on the free transfer list and see if there's anybody for free that we could possibly bring in. We haven't got loads of money, even though we did get a big transfer budget from last season. We haven't got loads of money, so we do need to be careful about who we bring in. But for now, guys, I will leave you where you are. I'll have a look on the free transfer list and see if there's any cheap pickups or good pickups that we can get. I've done a bit of research, guys. I've had a look on the free transfer list. I've had a look at who's for sale on the transfer list, and it's coming up a bit short with potential, really. Nobody really on the free transfer list, nobody really for sale that's going to make the difference. So I'm going to go through the players we have here and see what kind of difference we can make and put strength in the team. So Adama Traore, 29 years old, probably not going to get any better. I'm going to remove him. I'm not going to go with him. Odsonne Edouard, I am very interested in bringing in. He's obviously stronger than what we have up front, stronger than Aubameyang and stronger than Kirk Wilson. My intention is to try and see if West Bromwich Albion are interested in a swap deal for Aubameyang. I know that might sound a bit daft, but swapping Aubameyang in the deal for a tiny bit of money extra and try and bring in Edouard, I think he'll just be a little bit of a clinical finisher, but we'll see how that pans out. Harry Wilson is somebody I am very interested in bringing in. Not only the fact that Fulham have been relegated, the fact that he's gone a little bit cheaper now makes him more appealing. I reckon I can try and get him for around 16 million maybe, so that is definitely something I'm interested in. I'm bringing Harry Wilson in for the right-hand side. Lamptey, I would love to bring in the right back position just because he'd strengthen our back line, but obviously we're going to have to see where we are with money before we want to bring in Lamptey. As far as Leon Morley goes, guys, yeah, there is not a cat in hell's chance I am going to bring in Leon Morley in this game, or in this, as you can see, release clause of 363 million. Even 2 or 3 seasons from now, we're not going to have enough money to bring Leon Morley back, unfortunately. It is a bit of a sad thing to say for the series. I did want to bring him back and hopefully one day get him to lift the Premier League, but it's not going to happen, so I'm going to have to remove him. Maitland-Niles is somebody I do want to bring in. Again, we need to see where we are with money before we do bring him in. Rudiger was a centre-back I did want to bring in to try and strengthen, but we might just have to stick with what we have until we get some more money. I did think we'd get more money, to be honest, after getting 150 million from last season, but they haven't gave us too much. Again, Herrera could have been somebody for midfield we could have bring in to strengthen. Delap, I'm probably not going to bring him in. We'll stick with either Edouard or stick with Aubameyang for this season, and obviously Jude Bellingham, I'd love to bring him for midfield. We're not going to have the money to bring him in. So it's narrowed the list down. We just need to see how things get on. So the first decision I am going to make, obviously we have around £31 million, is where we need to strengthen most. My opinion, defensively, we weren't that bad last season. We have Sarr in, which has strengthened our back line. I'm not sure whether to put Hurst as a left back yet, or Sarr as a left back yet. Hurst is a little bit taller at 6'4", so I'm thinking leave Hurst at centre back and leave Sarr in the left back position. Midfield, we're still pretty strong with O'Reilly, Amadou, and Conor Gallagher. So what I'm thinking is Fernandes was decent last season, don't get me wrong, and so was Patrick Roberts, was okay, but that right wing position is somewhere I think we can improve. So I'm going to either get rid of Fernandes or get rid of Roberts, and I am going to bring in Harry Wilson from Fulham and see how we can get this deal done. So bear with me and we'll see what we can do. And here he is, guys. Harry Wilson is now a Hereford United player. I am really happy with this deal. I got him on a really good deal. So Fulham obviously went down to the Championship. We've stole him for a flat £18 million. I offered 15. They came back, I think, 19.2. And then I offered 17.5. He came at 18,750 or something. I offered him a flat 18, and they accepted. He didn't even want any more wages. He was on 50 grand wages at Fulham, and obviously I offered him the same thing, and he's taken it. So Harry Wilson is now a Hereford United player. He has strengthened our right-hand side. So what I am going to do is, there's not much difference in value between Fernandes and Roberts. Roberts is a little bit more expensive, but Fernandes is obviously younger and still has potential to grow. So I'm going to add Patrick Roberts to the transfer list. Unfortunately, he never quite made it here. We brought him in halfway through last season. No goals, no assists, and yeah, he just wasn't good enough for me. Whereas in Harry Wilson, he's now in and he is going to strengthen that right-hand side. Next up then, guys, as you can see, after the Harry Wilson deal has gone through, it's only left us with about just under £15 million. So it's not left us with a great amount of money to bring some quality in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for now. I'm going to wait and see if we get any offers for players, any situations that might occur that might change something. So Edouard, the plan for him is obviously try and exchange him for Aubameyang, but we will wait to see what happens with that before, obviously, the deal goes through, see if we can get a bit more money. Lamptey, I would love to bring in for the right back position. I think he'd be a great addition. He's going to be too expensive for now. Same with Maitland-Niles. I'd love to bring him in, but too expensive for now. So unless something changes or one of our players sells, I don't know. So as you can see, Harry Wilson, sent offer, done deal. We haven't received any deals just yet, and these are the players that I've added to the transfer window or the loan list. So Patrick Roberts has been added to the transfer window. Obviously the ones that we brought through last season just to get the achievement done for the youths. I've added Banks to the transfer list because obviously he's come back, he's not improved, he's just going to be a wasted slot. Thomas, obviously bringing in Malang Sarr. I'm going to put Thomas out on loan again, see if he can improve again. Jordan Best I've added to the loan list as well, nothing yet for him. And Bray, I've added him to the loan list as well. Jonathan Bray looks like he could really improve out on loan. So that's the plan for now. I am going to start simulating forward, obviously start simulating pre-season, and if any transfers come up and anything changes, I will let you know. On the way to the first game of pre-season, guys, we also have our first transfer. Now, it's for Hurst. Hurst is our starting centre-back. Now, I'm not against the idea of selling Hurst because I could put Malang Sarr in at centre-back and leave Kolasinac at left-back, which would be preferred because obviously it is an improvement because Malang Sarr is actually better than Hurst, and obviously the left-back position would still be as strong as it was. So I'm not against the idea, but what I am against is the amount of money that they are offering. So I'm going to delegate at 25, and if they will offer me anything around 18 for him, they might have a deal on their hands. So we'll see how that works out. Right then, guys, first game of pre-season, we are against Wolfsburg. I want to show you something that I have done to the starting lineup. So where I noticed a problem last season was in between midfield and defence. There seemed to be a gap which a lot of teams kept getting into, that gap in between midfield and defence. So what I have done is I haven't changed our formation too much. I have just sat Amadou in that centre defensive midfield position in between Mings and Hurst to make the difference in that defensive position. I think with this slight tweak, it will make the difference. So let's have a look in the first game of pre-season if it does make the difference and prevents us from obviously conceding a few more goals. So the only change to the lineup obviously is the Harry Wilson, the new signing. So let's go ahead and simulate forward and see if we can get a win. We do. We get a 2-1 win. So Dembele scores first. They equalise with Martial. So Martial is at Wolfsburg. I didn't know that. And Dembele gets the second of the game to give us a 2-1 win over Wolfsburg in the first game of pre-season. Happy with that. And we will just see if we can make some deals happen, obviously, while we are going through pre-season. I do want to bring some new faces in, some stronger faces, and I'll simulate forward here, guys. There's only 2 days until the next game, so don't forget to use your substitutions. Thank you very much for that there. So no transfers just yet, guys. We will go into the second game and we'll just make, going off what he said, don't forget to use your subs, so we'll just make a couple of subs. I will put see, this is an issue that we could have now because we don't actually have another winger to put out. What I might start doing is putting Aubameyang on the left and then put Kirk Wilson up top, but we'll see for now. We'll put Kirk Wilson up top, leave Aubameyang out on the left as he's got a bit more stamina. We'll give Miranda a run out. We'll give Kolasinac a run out in the second game. I'll give Tyler Wall a run out as well, and I'll put Doyle in for Amadou and do it that way. So let's simulate the second game of pre-season, guys, and hopefully we'll get another win and go through in pre-season. We don't. We get a loss this time against Valencia, only the 1 goal in it. So a win and a loss at the start of pre-season. Not bad so far. Now, unless any transfer news comes up or any important transfer news, I won't bring the lower transfer news to you guys unless I think it's important. We'll simulate forward, and if there isn't anything else, I'll let you know. Right then, guys, transfer talks. First, let's do the deal. They have offered us £19.3 million for Hurst. That is the type of money I cannot pass up. Malang Sarr is in, and we can replace the centre-back position with Malang Sarr and put we can put Kolasinac in the left-back position. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that deal, and we should be able to bring in Maitland-Niles and do it that way and replace obviously the centre-back position with somebody in that midfield role. So let's see how that deal pans out. Also, we have a loan offer for Best. It's actually off Norwich. They've just come up at the start of this season, so I'm quite happy for him to go there on loan and get some first-team football. That's not a problem, but for now, we might actually have a deal on our hands. So into the third game of pre-season. And what I will do is, just for this game, because obviously that deal looks like it's going to go through, I'll take Gallagher off and put Doyle on, even though Doyle can't play the centre mid role. We'll leave him there for now. We'll put Malang Sarr at centre back, leave Hurst off for now. I might have to not get rid of Thomas now. I might have to not loan Thomas out and keep him as a backup, but everybody else seems good to go. We'll just keep it like that, and we will simulate the third game of pre-season. If we get a win, we might actually be through to the next round. We don't. We get a 3-1 defeat. So Wilson scores, but then they just take over Leverkusen and teach us a lesson, really. But it is only pre-season, so we can't be too disheartened, even if we are out, which we are out of pre-season, should I say. We've got a couple of deals, looks like, here. This was somebody I was looking at, actually, on the free transfer. Nope, he's nowhere near good enough. Never mind. I won't even bother telling you about that. Looks like Best has a loan deal here from... It's actually off Sporting. So, is it just a loan? It's not. It's a loan to buy. So we'll just change that to a loan. It looks like Best is definitely going out on loan. So we are out of pre-season, just over £1 million, and we can concentrate on getting these deals done now. So I'll simulate forward and let you know if anything changes. Another big transfer offer, guys. This time it's for Tyrone Mings. Well, sorry Leicester, I have just lost my other starting centre-back by the looks of it, with that deal going through, and I can't see Hurst not accepting that deal. So Leicester, you are not stealing Tyrone Mings. Another few transfers here, guys. So we have had a loan offer for Thomas, which I am going to reject because it looks like the deal with Hurst is going to go through. So we are going to need Thomas as backup at left back, so I'm going to go ahead and reject that one. We also have a transfer offer for Fernandez. Now Fernandez is our backup right back to Wilson now, and for that kind of money they are certainly not going to have a deal on their hands. Fernandez is good and we want to keep hold of him. Also, speaking of Wilson, he has now moved to the right wing position. I'll have a look and we switch him to see if he goes up. He does go up to 81 rated, so brilliant. Harry Wilson is now our official right winger and has gone up to 81 rated. So again guys, if anything else happens I will let you know. There we are then guys, Hurst has left the club. We have 16 million on top of the money that we already have. That should clarify for me who we need to be bringing in. So we'll just deal with this for the second. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that from Norwich and also accept it from Sporting. So it's up to Best where he wants to go out on loan, whether to stay in the Premier League or go abroad. So let us have a look how much we have in the kitty now. £32 million in the kitty. Now we have some decisions to make. Do I go for Edouard, try and swap out for Aubameyang and strengthen our strike position, or do I don't think we've got enough for Lamptey to strengthen that right back position. We certainly haven't. That deal's not going to happen. But we do have enough to bring in Maitland-Niles, which would strengthen our midfield, and we could obviously make one or two other sales, because if we were to bring in Maitland-Niles, guys, I would put him where Amadou is, in the centre defensive mid position. Or, to be fair, Maitland-Niles can play right back. Do I bring in Maitland-Niles to play right back? That could be an option. Either way, I think Maitland-Niles would be probably the most, out of the signings that we've got here, it would be the most go-to signing. So I'm going to try and make this deal happen, guys. And there we go, guys. Deal has been done. £25 million. Maitland-Niles is in. I am really happy to bring him in. 81 rated. His stats look brilliant, and he wanted crucial football. 5-year deal. He asked for 55 grand in wages, and we paid bang on £25 million for him. I think that is a brilliant deal done, and I am really happy. But it has made a problem. So now the problem that it's made is Maitland-Niles is going to take over 80 weeks to be in the right back position. So I'm going to leave Paslak in the right back position, and I'm going to leave Maitland-Niles in that holding position in between the two centre backs. Now that means Amadou will drop to the bench. Now Amadou can play centre back. I have played him there before, if you do recall. So I've gone onto his development and I have put Amadou as a centre back. So either I will swap him out for Mings or Sarr when one or the other is tired. So Amadou will still play a big role in the team. He just might not take that role where Maitland-Niles is taking. So a couple of new signings, guys, and we are strengthening the team. Now, where we stand money-wise after that deal is not very much, so it looks like that might be the last deal that we do before the start of the Premier League, depending on how many offers or if we get any more offers in. So if we don't, I will simulate forward to the start of the season. If not, I will let you know if anything else pops up. Here we are then, guys, more transfer news. It looks like Jordan Best has agreed to join Norwich as he rejected the move to Sporting. So Best has gone out on loan to Norwich. Sheffield United have come in, guys, with a loan deal for Bray, so I'm quite happy for him to go out on loan for a year. Simulating forward, guys, and we have quite a few transfers now. We have a transfer offer for Adam of PSV, which I am quite open to doing now that we've brought Maitland-Niles in, and obviously we have the situation to move Adam on. So I'll ask for 12.50 and I'll ask for starting at about 8.5 and see if I can get that deal done. And also we have had some interest in Tommy Doyle. Now I do want to keep hold of Tommy Doyle to sit and swap out in that centre defensive mid position, but needing the money more maybe. I'm not entirely sure on needing the money more, so what I will do is I will delegate it and I will ask for obviously a daft amount of money, and obviously if they then give us that crazy amount of money for him, we can then bring in somebody else to replace him. But as far as anything else goes, I don't think we'll be moving anybody on in this window, preferably before the start of the season. So again, I'll just ask for, like I said, ridiculous money, which, to be fair, Tommy Doyle is a brilliant player. I don't want to lose him, but if we can get the money in and maybe bring in some better quality, and Amadou, as you can see here now, guys, has actually changed to a centre-back, so I can utilise him at centre-back now. So there he is at centre-back. I'll just make him a stopper so that he tries developing a little bit more, even though at 32-year-old he's probably not going to develop now. So if anything else happens, I will let you know. An agreement has been made with Adam, guys, for £10.3 million. So I'm just going to go ahead and accept that and move Adam on and get the cash for him. Confirmation then, guys, Adam has moved on. £8 million has been added to our transfer budget, and we are very, very close now to the start of the season. As you'll see here, I'll just simulate this training session, and Crystal Palace is right around the corner. The first game of the season against Crystal Palace. We do have 16 million back in the bank now because of that sale, but obviously anybody that is still on our transfer list is going to be a little bit more expensive than that. So for now, the squad will stay as it is. We have improved with obviously 3 new signings. We've obviously got Malang Sarr at centre-back now, which is a really good addition to the squad. We've got Maitland-Niles in centre defensive midfield, another good addition to the squad. Harry Wilson up front now, alongside Aubameyang and Dembele. So we have strengthened, not a mass amount, but we have strengthened, and I think with the change of formation as well, we should have a bit of a better run this season. But the transfer window is still open. Don't let it think that nothing's going to happen before the end of obviously the transfer window. So, well, as you can see here straight away, we have a bid. That is for Kirk Wilson. Now, Super Kirk Wilson has been the highlight of the entire series so far, and to let him go for that kind of money is just, for me, not going to be nowhere near enough. I'd want at least 50 million from him. 20-year-old, 77 rated. Kirk Wilson scores for fun and probably will replace that strike position during this season, if not at the end of the season. So I'm going to go ahead and reject that, guys. Kirk Wilson is going nowhere, and deal has broke down with Tommy Doyle. I didn't think that deal would happen because obviously we asked for silly money. So the start of the Premier League, guys, in the new season. We'll do the press conference. We'll get the press conference done at the start of the season. We do it every year. And then I will leave this episode into next episode, ready for the start of the Premier League season. So let's see what they're saying. Can you finish top half this season? Yes, we want to finish inside top 6. That is certainly something I want to do. We finished mid-table last season. We've improved on where we were. I certainly want to push for a top-end finish this season. Are you expecting from Crystal Palace? I believe in our players. Whether or not Crystal Palace bring to the table or not is something else. Miranda, are you going to step up now? Miranda will be a... I'll say he's got all the tools, but he's going to be a rotation player for now, as Amadou will take up any stamina levels that drop from Malang Sarr or Tyron Mings. So we are ready for the start of the season, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tell me what you think of the new signings. Do you think we've strengthened the squad? Anywhere you think that we can improve? Do let me know in the comment section, guys. Let me know any comments you want to leave, and I will leave the start of the Premier League for next season. So, or next episode, should I say, not next season, next episode. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, guys, leave a big thumbs up. Any comments you want to leave it in the comment section. I will see you in the next episode. It's been Daniel as 1989. Love you, bye.